Guys, and welcome to another video of Holy Paladin, and I had to do a video on this, guys. I had to. We got some juicy shock barrier buffs. Now it's going to affect 5 targets instead of 3. Oops, I pulled aggro there. We're actually gonna fear this guy. We need to watch out. We're doing a juicy pull here, so this is going to be interesting. So there's definitely a huge amount of synergy between Divine Toll, which is gonna shoot out 5 holy shots on members, gonna give you 5 holy power. Synergy between something like Glimmer of Light, synergy between something like Shock Barrier right now is going to protect the target with a shield of Holy Light for 18 seconds, absorbing damage equal to 20% of the Holy Shock. Every 6 seconds can protect up to 5 targets. And again, this is pretty big in a lot of environments. So we're going to save up our Divine Toll here. We're going to use some damage. There's going to be AoE happening right now. We're going to use Divine Toll. Again, I probably should have used all my holy power before using Divine Toll. I'm gonna go into Holy Avenger. This guy's gonna do AoE right now. It was pulsing AoE. I have everything ready. I'm using Wall of Glory right now because there's really not a lot of... I only need single target. I'm dealing damage. I don't think I need to heal anybody. I'm just gonna keep DPSing. I'm gonna heal this guy. I'm gonna keep DPSing and I should be fine. I'm experimenting with Holy Avenger right now. I'm experimenting with 2 cooldowns. I'm experimenting how I can optimize this playstyle. So I'm gonna use my heal. I'm gonna use my Divine Toll on an enemy. So you can see there's a lot of flexibility with Divine Toll, guys. It has to be one of the most interesting and flexible abilities that Holy Paladin has in terms of Covenant. But the fact that Holy Paladins generally have issues with AoE healing and having a 1 minute cooldown like Divine Toll that you can use on DPS or healing, that's gonna synergize with Shock Barrier, gonna apply absorbs, and it's also gonna give you 5 glimmers and 5 holy power. It's pretty hard to pass up. It's pretty hard to pass up, and the biggest question for Holy Paladin is that are they going to be able to heal high prideful keys? And I feel like that's probably going to hold them back from doing really high pushes. In terms of, guys, prideful is the thing. This is not a high key. At really high key, you will probably have to look into certain cooldowns. I could not get. At really high prideful keys, you probably will have to look at certain cooldowns in order to pass it. We have Divine Toll, so we're fine. We're just gonna use it right now. We're gonna use it right now on the mage. Then we're gonna go into Shield of Righteous for some DPS because we don't need healing. We're fine. And I could have saved my cooldowns, I could have saved my wings, I could have saved my Holy Avenger for it as well. So there's a lot of ways to deal with Prideful, but at the same time I'm not sure if Holy Paladin is the best healer in terms of HPS. Their HPS is definitely has fallen. In terms of pure HPS for Holy Paladin, I think Holy Paladins are much more like a mid-tier type of HPS healer. You have to keep in mind that things like Devo Aura and Aura Master don't show up on healing meters. But it's not like in BFA where you had Holy Paladins topping healing meters and you had Holy Paladins topping or doing really a lot of passive damage on top of the fact that Aura Mastery was even stronger as well. So definitely Holy Paladin is going to lose some strength when you compare it to BFA. But in BFA, Holy Paladin was really, and I mean really strong. So let's heal the tank. It'll be fine. We have our wings available. We're trying to do DPS. I was contemplating about using my Divine Toll in order to deal damage. Probably in here I'm gonna use Divine Toll to heal, and you'll see it right now. The guy is about to do AoE spam or AoE damage. We're gonna use DPS here. We're gonna go Divine Toll. I don't know which character. Actually, we're not even gonna go Divine Toll. This is gonna be fine. We're gonna go Divine Toll on myself. Wall of Glory. Dispel the guy. And the absorb is gonna happen. We're proccing Prideful. This is a bit of an issue because I have absolutely nothing. So I'm gonna use Aura right here to help with this. I hit the priest, I didn't see where he was. I had to use Lay of Hands. The guy is stoned, so he could have died. Again, I have no cooldowns right now. So this is a bit of an issue. It can definitely be a bit of an issue when you have nothing ready. And this was a pretty hard part. We can do it. I'm not worrying about myself because like I could have used bubble. I could have used bubble at any given point, and I probably should have in order to prevent a certain amount of healing. But dealing with these moments when you have no cooldowns, it's definitely going to be hard. Because Holy Paladin, again, you have to make sure you're gonna use your wings in a way that is appropriate, because you don't have as high of an uptime as you had in BFA. In BFA, wings with Ineffable Truth was a completely different story. And it was pretty insane. We're gonna use Divine Toll here as well. We have to use it. We have to use it defensively. We're gonna go into DPS. We're gonna go into Shield of Righteous. We're gonna apply Glimmers on as many targets. Keep our concentration down as well. Use a hammer. Use Shield of Righteous. Holy Shock on this guy. He'll be fine. Holy Shock on this guy. Could have stunned him. And we're fine. Again, we have to use our wings for this. The overall gameplay of Holy Paladin, I feel, is still relatively fast. Of course, guys, you can't compare Holy Paladin to what it was like in BFA with Ineffable Truth. You can't. There's not going to be a comparison to this. I still feel Holy Paladin has very fast playstyle in terms of melee. You can use Divine Toll pretty much on just DPS. And that's going to do a lot of damage. You could probably swap out from your Shock Barrier legendary for the Inquisitor legendary, which gives you like around 6% haste. And all the sudden, again, let's use Divine Toll offensively. Let's see how much damage we can do here. We're spreading our Holy Shocks. We're trying to deal a hammer. Again, this was not the best. You can probably do better if you use an offensive legendary. But this is what I'm talking about. You can just decide to, hey guys, I'm just gonna go full offensive. And we'll kill the mobs before there's any real healing needed. And this is the big advantage of Holy Paladin. This is the main reason you want to play Holy Paladin in terms of Mythic Plus. You can do substantial amount of damage to really help out your group. But what happens in really high prideful keys, I'm not 100% sure if Holy Paladin is going to be able to deal with really high pridefuls in an easy kind of way. I feel like a couple of other healers might have a better suited toolkit in terms of higher pridefuls, but it's something that I need to experiment as well. During prideful, people are going to lose a lot of HP at the end of the prideful duration, so saving your cooldowns for the ending of prideful, or you know, when things really hurt, is probably the way to go. How many cooldowns you're gonna dedicate towards prideful is really depends on how high of a key you're gonna do. I've been testing out Holy Avenge and I've been finding it pretty good because it's not random. It is something that I can plan around. I'll be like, hey guys, I have Holy Avenger for this should be fine. And I do like Holy Paladin. I feel like there's been a lot of negativity about Holy Paladin, and I understand why, because it's scary. There's still a lot of uncertainties. Yeah, boy! Have you heard of Bop? Do you know the Bop? That's one of the things that's gonna make Holy Paladin very strong in raids. Having utility like Blessing of Protection is going to be a substantial... And the fact that you have Bubble. Bubble is going to be really strong in raids in terms of dealing with certain bleeds as well. So there's a lot of things to be... Okay, I'm gonna use offensive, divine... No, uh-oh. Okay, let's just Bubble. It's fine, we're fine. We're fine, guys. You do have to play around your cooldowns. That's an important part, and I feel that's gonna separate Paladin from being an easy beginner's healer. You do have to play around your cooldowns more than you had to in BFA, especially in 8.3. You have to make sure that you maybe save your wings or something during a sketchy part in a Mythic Plus dungeon. Or like, hey, Prideful is about to happen, I just used everything. Remember when I ran into issues before? When I had absolutely no cooldown when Prideful popped up with an additional ad? In higher keys, that probably would have been a big problem. So knowing when Prideful is going to spawn, knowing trash packs is going to be a thing that you should know as a Holy Paladin. For other healers, they might have it easier because they're not that reliant on cooldowns. Holy Paladin has always been a healer that's extremely reliant on cooldowns. So if you play a Holy Paladin, you should expect that. That's one of the reasons you like playing Holy Paladin. That's one of the reasons you decided to play Holy Paladin. You like those cooldowns. You like to micromanage those cooldowns. If you don't want to micromanage any cooldowns, for Mythic Plus, you might want to go with something like Resto Druid or Mistweaver. They have a lot less cooldown management. Resto Druid in ratings probably will have a decent amount of cooldowns, but in Mythic Plus, they just have consistently good healing, especially if they have a lot of mastery. And after this, we're gonna spawn Prideful. For Prideful, we're gonna have Holy Avenger and we're gonna have Wings. But I don't want to use Wings for just Prideful because I want to have Wings for the boss. So I'm just gonna use Holy Avenger for this boss. I'm just gonna use Holy Avenger and I'm just gonna heal. I'm gonna deal damage as well. Actually, I can do a lot of damage. There's no need for healing at all at this point. Yikes, I got hit because I'm bad. We should be fine. People still don't need healing. And again, we didn't have to do a whole lot of things there. But now I have Wings available for this boss. There's going to be AoE damage happening. Again, this should be around 2 AoE phases, which should require certain cooldowns. So that's something to look out for. I'm going to be using Wings on the first one. And then I'm gonna have Divine Toll for the second one. And I think that's how I'm going to plan it out. So let's go. There's going to be... We're gonna have to move away from these red lines because all of the things are going to come in. After this, they're all going to spread out. And then I'm gonna have to soak each of the lines. I'll soak this line. I'm using Wings. Again, there's not a whole lot of things that we need to do. During Wings, we're doing a lot of healing. We need to move out. And then we're gonna go into Divine Toll. We're gonna use Shield of Righteous here. We're gonna spread our... Again, we're gonna use all of our Holy Power. And then we're gonna use it on the Priest. Priest gets it into World of Glory, into Hammer, into Shield of Righteous to kill it off. Put Consecrate down and pick up the orbs. And the boss is dead. So from the overall run, we can see that the DPS of Holy Paladin, I would say that Holy Paladin arguably can have the best DPS out of all the healers if they decide to go offensively. If they use the Divine Toll in order to damage, you can do a lot of damage. If you use other legendaries in order to optimize your DPS, like the Inquisitor one from Retribution Paladin that gives you around 6% haste as well based on how you use Holy Power. There is a lot of ways to optimize Holy Paladin damage and you can do a lot of DPS. But in terms of dealing with high Prideful, I'm not 100% sold on Holy Paladin's strength in really high Mythic Plus keys, but we'll have to see. In terms of the gameplay, honestly, I still really enjoy Holy Paladin, I still enjoy melee playstyle, but I do really like Holy Paladin. I think their biggest strength is their DPS. They have a lot of utility. And especially in lower end keys, he could arguably be the best healer because one of the best ways of providing healing is killing the mob before they actually deal any damage. And in terms of shock barrier, in terms of the healing that you can provide, you can see from my healing meters, it did around 9 to 10% of the healing. I did a couple of runs with it, and it's, again, a legendary that can help you with Prideful healing and a lot of other type of situations, especially with the fact that you can combine it, or it synergizes really well with things like Crusader's Might, where you get more Holy Shocks, where you can combine it with Divine Toll from Kyrian, and you can combine it with things like Glimmer of Light. Heavy synergy between the three things here, and we'll have to see which... Again, this combination is very nice in Mythic Plus. We'll have to see what combination is going to emerge in raids, but generally speaking, it's been very fun playing Holy